Serious, what's a scummy thing a company did/is doing that people should be talking about more?
Frito-Lay union workers on strike in Mississippi. 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week. At suicide shift, off at 11. Back at 7 and bad faith bargaining. 0.10 raise year 1. No raise year 2. 0.10 raise year 3, and this is after no raises for 7 years. CEO is one of highest paid. Apparently the striking workers miss their families and wish the company treated them like humans, not robots. I don't work there, but I support their cause.
DuPont dumping chemicals into the water supply for decades. DuPont's own documentation specified that C8 was not to be flushed into surface waters, but the company did so for decades. The chemical seeped into the water supplies of the communities of Lubeck and Little Hocking, immediately west of Parkersburg, and the city of Belpre, Ohio, just across the river, and 3 other water systems. In 2004, DuPont paid $70 million in a class action lawsuit and agreed to install filtration plants in the affected water districts. In 2005, it reached a $16.5 million settlement with the EPA for violations of the Toxic Substances Control Act. A collective decision was made to use the money won in the class action suit to conduct an epidemiological study in which nearly 70,000 of the 80,000 plaintiffs stopped into one of 6 clinics set up throughout the community, provided their medical histories and offered their blood. They were each paid $400. A science panel, comprised of public health scientists appointed by DuPont and lawyers representing the community, was convened to examine the immense database. In 2012, after 7 years of study, the panel released a report documenting a probable link between C8 and 6 conditions: testicular cancer, kidney cancer, thyroid disease, ulcerative colitis, pregnancy-induced hypertension and high cholesterol. In 2015, DuPont spun off its chemical division into a new company called Chemours, which now occupies the Washington Works facility on the Ohio. In 2017, DuPont and Chemours agreed to pay $671 million to settle some 3,500 pending lawsuits. Chemours was cited in 2019 by the EPA for the release of unregulated chemical compounds in West Virginia and North Carolina. C8 was recently found in the blood of polar bears. C8 is in the blood of 99% of the American population. So far, not a single person has been charged with a crime. And just to make sure that you all know that the rich can get away with anything. In 2009, Robert Richards, one of the DuPont heirs, pleaded guilty to raping his daughter. He received no prison time, instead fined $4,395 and promised to attend a high-end treatment facility. At the time Richards was 6'4" and around 300 pounds. His daughter was just 3 years old. After being released from court, he went back to living on his multi-million-dollar trust fund. The press did not report on any of this at time. It wasn't until 2014 when his ex-wife sued him for damages for the crime that it all came out. During Richards' treatment, his counselor thought that he wasn't being upfront with him and suggested Richards take a polygraph. The polygraph suggested that Richards had also raped his son. His 8-year probation ended in 2017.
In February 2021, Bell Media fired large numbers of staff, many of them without notice or warning. Some found out 15 minutes before their show was to go on the air, some radio shows were just changed mid-broadcast. Some found out via Twitter they no longer had jobs. This all happened a month after Bell took $122 million in COVID relief despite boosting dividend payments and having strong financial records. Beat Bell, I hope every hot pocket they bite into is scalding on the edges but still frozen in the middle.
Compass Group Corporate Dining. I was a manager at this company, and when the pandemic hit, they changed all sick time and vacation rules so you would not allow you to use your time if on furlough. Basically, they could steal your hours accrued and not pay you, just to save the company money when people needed it the most. I live in a city with sick and safe time laws. I explicitly told our district manager and our people what they are doing is illegal. I talked to the Office of Labor Standards and recouped $670K for over 600 workers in my city. Beat them. No one should ever work for those beep.
Epson ink cartridges scam.
Everything Nestlé does.
Hospital billing, $30 for 25 milligrams of ibuprofen.
Disney trying to trademark everything to do with Day of the Dead, for Coco, Polynesian faith, for Moana, Norse faith, Loki, repeatedly trying to copyright other cultures while posing as a good company.
Social media companies, amongst others, hiding what information they're taking from you, as well as just the fact that they're taking personal information.
Dental assistant here. It is common in many dental practices for hygienists, the people who clean your teeth every 6 months, to be paid per patient, not an hourly rate. What this inevitably leads to is hygienists treating patients for significantly less time than the recommended standard. It should take roughly 45 minutes to an hour for a proper teeth cleaning. The dental office I previously worked at proudly advertised a 20-minute cleaning for adults, something that might seem convenient for those not knowing that they're literally getting beep over. Keep an eye at how long your hygienist visit takes each time, and if they're whipping you in and out of there in 20 minutes, please consider finding a new dentist. Dentistry is one of the only medical fields where a quick visit is usually a poor visit.
The fact that so many Amazon products are fake. It's dangerous considering how much skincare, makeup or really anything that could potentially harm someone.
CRTC, Canada. They are supposed to be advocates to lower the cost of telecommunications in Canada. Instead, the CEO is going for drinks after work with the CEOs of the telecommunication companies. Effect? Pricing rising.
Pretty much every company that delivers mail packages, at least in my area, are marking packages as delivered and then not actually delivering the package that they know they still have, until up to 4 days later. I'm here thinking I should have the package, it was left, but I can't find it. So I have to file a claim. Then the package shows up. So I need to cancel the claim. This is a massive waste of time for everyone. Just stop doing this, beep, deliver the package, then mark it delivered. Look, the last year's been rough and there are all kinds of lingering effects. Fine. I don't care if beep is late. Don't lie to me.
People often cite the case of the old woman suing McDonald's as an example of frivolous litigation. The truth is that McDonald's used the media to wage war against this woman and delegitimize her claims. Her case was legitimate. The coffee was so hot she had to receive skin grafts and suffered permanent damages.
Shaving hours to avoid overtime.
Back when I worked at Logan's Steakhouse, they didn't get me into the computer the whole week I trained. They told me to write my times down and turn them in daily, so I did. I get my first check and the 30 hours I trained aren't there. Only my serving hours at $2.13. I complain for months and they say they can't give it to me all at once, as that would put me in overtime and make it time and a half on the training base pay. They say they'll have to just add a few hours to each check. I reluctantly agree, except this doesn't even happen. Others have the same thing happen. Kitchen employees were being forced to clock out at 10 whether or not they were done working, and may have to stay till 11 or 12. Years later this becomes a lawsuit known as the off-the-clock class action suit against Logan's. I sign up and the attorney tells me there is zero record of me ever working there, even using my SSN and store number. Beep Logan's.
Not being transparent about pay rates, leading to people making significantly more than those who think asking for a raise would be asking for too much.
I don't think many people notice how badly Dollar Tree workers are treated by corporate, especially compared to regular retail employees. There's a reason they're still able to sell everything for $1. Hell, the Christmas bonus for associates last year were stale cookies. Just for the record, I've never worked there. This is what I've observed from our Dollar Tree.
Statistically, a mere 100 companies are responsible for 71% of pollution and climate change, but instead they blame the general populace to save money.
Dunkin' Donuts has a policy that requires employees to trash unbought donuts. Some employee posted a video of giving unbought donuts to homeless people and was fired for it later.
Taking away your right to repair.
Aqueon selling betta tanks knowing full well that they are abusive towards bettas but choose to sell it to people who know nothing about fish. Normal bettas require 5 gallons, king/giant bettas need 10, not 0.5 gallons.
May your day be filled with joy and happiness. And please remember to subscribe to Upvote for the best quality content every day.